Hey, what's up, guys? Somebody in Russia wanted to see my cock, so there he is. One of those hens is mine. I really didn't want to get chickens, but they came to me and they said, "This one's yours. What do you want to name it?" I said, "I'm going to name her Laquifa." So one of those golden comets is named Laquifa. Got some plans for the camper top coming up pretty soon. It won't look so Sanford and Son back here anymore. Uh-oh. Looks like we got a layer back there. Working on breakfast in there. Oh my. Scene stealer. Anyway, um, yeah, this past week, uh, on the replica that went to Hawaii, I'm pretty sure I left my ASA in it, which was a Ninja ASA. So I had to buy some online, and I've mentioned before these particulars, and I picked up like four of them to get me through. Hey, boy. And I found out 2 days ago that they don't fit the internal air adapters that Sapper Custom makes. They're loose, but you can put a seal, regulator seal, in down in the adapter to get by. I've been doing this, and it leaks a little bit, but it'll get you by until you can get a Ninja adapter. Charlie got his first haircut. What do you think about that? Charlie, huh? You like it? It's good. Oh, he's so cute. What kind of dog is he? He's a border collie. Yeah, a Newfoundland border collie.
Bruh.
What do you think, Charlie? Will that work? Huh? No. Anyway, to get to the meat of the matter, I've been having issues with the valves. Uh, well, my customers rather. It's been quite unnerving because for years now I've been offering high flow valves in the Drost, and a recent problem I've run into is that they're getting stuck very soon after the customer gets them back, which is not good. Uh, it's happened to me a couple of times in the past during testing and with my own stuff, but usually what happens is it'll happen once, and then I can take the valve out and deburr it, put it back in, and it's fine. And no more problems out of it. Well, they've been getting away from me and doing this to customers. And so it's been brought to my attention, and I've been doing some thinking about it. And I've come up with a couple of possibilities about what's going on. I think that adjusting the solenoid so it pushes the valve all the way in just before it bottoms out on the valve seat. I think doing that has caused, when the solenoid heats up, I think that the hammer, I can't remember who mentioned this to me a long time ago, but it makes a lot of sense. So props to whoever mentioned this to me. Anyway, having it all the way forward, if the solenoid is driven really hard, it'll heat up and the hammer will expand and become a little bit longer. And this can cause, if it starts hitting the valve seat, there's a little bushing that the pin of the valve rides in that holds the seal in on the other side of the valve seat. And it can knock that out. And that can cause all kinds of head scratching issues because sometimes when it shoots, it'll knock the bushing out and it'll stay out and it'll leak air, and then you shoot it again, knocks the bushing back in, and everything's where it needs to be and it's not leaking anymore. That happened to me a long time ago. And it took a long time to figure it out because all of this is happening inside the frame. But a lot of you know that it's really common, and you're just about going to have this happen to you, is you'll develop a little dent on the bottom of the valve. And this comes from the valve slamming into the BB. I've come to find out that you can prevent this by pulling the valve back a little bit. Now, if you pull the valve back a little bit, you don't have as much throw in there. It's not going to open up as far, therefore, it's not going to give you the same amount of velocity. And it can also mess with extreme fire rates because the valve spring also helps to return the solenoid to its original position. Now, I'm working on a build right now. I completed it yesterday, tested it out and everything. This one has a high flow valve in it, and I adjusted it so it's not going all the way in. It appears to be working just fine at high rates, but I'm going to shoot it a little more before I return it to the customer. And having the valve adjusted back hasn't caused a dent on the valve. So it's, it's just one of those things. It's like, you can rob Peter to pay Paul, or whatever you want to do with it. I think that moving forward, what I'm going to do is maybe make a video about this entirely on its own, about adjusting the valve and possible issues that you can run into. I don't think it's very professional of me, knowing what I know, to go ahead and adjust the valve all the way in with the knowing now that there's the potential for it to lock in place and then have the customer lose all of their air their first time out. Now, I'm not 100% sure why this is, but the stock valves are a lot less prone to this. So if you've gotten a build of mine recently, within the past couple of weeks or so, and any of the last replicas, they all came with high flow valves. They didn't come with a factory draws valve. I didn't have any issues with those, so knock on wood. Let's hope that they're all good. And if they're not, you can send the mag back to me and I can figure it out for you. But yeah, I've had 2 customers that ran into this issue very recently, like within the last week. And when I bought these valves, I think I bought like 100 of them. I bought 100 of them at least. And now I'm down to 20. And this problem is just showing up. So it's really caused me to really concentrate on the issue and get down to the bottom of it, and hopefully um, adjusting them to where they're not slamming into BBs, but they're not fully opening, won't interfere with extreme fire rates. But that area up in there, you move something just a teeny tiny bit, and it can cause big changes. If you're one of these customers who has a high flow valve and still has their stock valve, whenever anybody sends a build to me, they get all their parts back from the build, which, if they get a high flow valve, they're going to get their stock valve back. But, like I said, the stock valves just don't really seem to have this issue. So what we did with one customer, he sent the magazine back to me, and I got it running right. I actually put a brand new valve in the thing. That's what happened. While he had it, I was working on another gun, and I actually had the seal blow out, the front valve seal blow out in front of the valve, and I'd never had that happen before. And it was like the next day, he got his magazine back and he went out to the range, and the exact same thing happened to him. So what we ended up doing was he still had his factory valve, and he just put that in there, and everything has been fine ever since. So I think that particular aspect, I'm gonna leave it alone and just play it safe if I can, if the fire rate will work properly with not having them fully adjusted. And I will make a very detailed video on all of this in case you guys want to get a couple of extra valves and just super tune that part of the build to get it, firing as fast as it possibly can as far as velocity. Alright guys, I babbled on long enough. I'm supposed to be getting a freeze dryer today. So be thinking of what you want me to put in there. I'm not going to do any kittens or puppies, but just be thinking about what you want me to put in there. One of the things that I want to find out what happens to is those silica beads. I think that they're going to retain their hydrated shape. But yeah, that should be real fun. So later.